All right, well, let's start with the league leaders, Arsenal, because they have got, on paper, what looks like quite a tough fixture coming up. They're facing Fulham, who have been excellent this season. But after the drama of last weekend, I mean, what a comeback it was from Arsenal. They will surely be boosted heading into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it showed great character from Arsenal. It showed great determination and great drive as well. There's an honesty about them that I really, I'm drawn to. You know, there's something about the way they're going into every game thinking we're going to win this, irrelevant of how we start the game. Now, they started on the back foot, 9 seconds in, they're 1-0 down. And it was a great bit of play from Bournemouth. Managed to catch Arsenal cold, you know, and if you're gonna show what you're about, and if you want to come back and prove that you're actually in it for the title race and you're an actual real genuine contender, you have to react in a positive way. It took them a little while. They went 2 goals down, but the reaction that we saw from them, absolutely, it was top draw.
The thing is, though, is when they went 2-0 down and they managed to start coming back into the game, when it got to 2-2, you just knew they were going to go on and win it, didn't you? And is that the sign of a true Premier League title winner?
I think it is. I think there are lots of moments when you look at teams that have won the title, there are lots of moments in their campaign where they've come back and they've rescued victory from the jaws of defeat, or a point from the jaws of defeat. And I think the reason why they've signed Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko is still that kind of belief in the side. And if you look at Zinchenko in particular, there are a couple of moments this season where he's given interviews that have shown his leadership. He's learned how never to give up until the very last whistle at Manchester City. That's why he's won 4 titles. Now he's got the players in this Arsenal squad to believe. And I don't now think there is any game that they play in where they will think the points are lost until that final whistle goes.
There's another name to add to that as well, Jorginho.
Yes.
You know, he's somebody that knows how to win. He's been there, he's done it as well. And he's come in there with the Premier League experience, and he's just added to this already amazing confident squad.
You know, the interesting thing about that, just forgive me, Jules, I think as far as Jorginho is concerned, they moved for him after they couldn't get Mykhailo Mudryk. Now, Mudryk would have been a wonderful signing, long-term, very flashy and whatever else. But if you look at Chelsea, he hasn't really given them that much. And Jorginho wouldn't have got a game there. But going to Arsenal, he would have been a lower profile signing. But already he scored a key goal. He has provided real calm in that centre of midfield.
Experience.
But the experience that he's given the entire dressing room is key, because where they are now, I would argue he is more valuable to Arsenal than Mykhailo Mudryk would have been.
And what about having a player like Reece Nelson, who probably no one would have expected to pop up and score the winner? The fact that they've got the entire squad all chipping in with such important goals this season as well says a lot.
It does. It says so much about the strength and depth of the club. But also, he got an assist in this game as well for Ben White, I think it was. You know, that just shows you the confidence that they're playing with, and to go behind 9 seconds into the game, to react in a positive way, not let it get them down. Obviously, once Arsenal have scored 1 goal to half the deficit, the crowd around the place are right behind them, and you can almost feel like they're an added player on your team. You know, it's only when you're in that situation that you realise, wow, we've actually got more than enough here to really benefit us and to move forwards. But the confidence for Reece Nelson here.
What a hit.
Lets the ball bounce, controls himself, steadies himself, calms himself down, puts his foot right through the ball. His weaker left foot, by the way, as well, while being closed down. Bournemouth had 11 players in the box for the first and third goals. They had 10 players in the box for the second goal, and they still weren't able to do anything about stopping Arsenal. It just goes to show the confidence that Arsenal are playing with at the moment.
Yeah, incredible. You can see what the celebrations meant, what it meant to the entire squad as well, Darren. But just to play devil's advocate, is there still a concern over the fragility that we've seen from Arsenal at separate stages this season, but to go 2-0 down against Bournemouth, is that a concern in the title running?
I think you're really right to raise that, and I don't think it's churlish at all, because I think they've only kept 3 clean sheets at home so far this season. Now, if you want to win the title, that has to improve. Teams that win trophies have the best defences. 1-0s and clean sheets are more important to you than spectacular 4-3 victories, 3-2 victories. They're great for us, exciting, exciting, compelling, all the adjectives. But the bottom line is that the boring teams, the teams that are able to keep out the opposition, are the ones that go on to win trophies and titles.
So how are we looking at it now? We've just seen as we saw there, an incredible comeback to go and win the game. Huge boost for the fans, huge boost for the players, showing great mentality and spirit to come back and turn the game around. But are Manchester City still favourites for you?
Do you know what? Arsenal are favourites for me. And
They are now?
Arsenal have been favourites for me for a little while. I've always said I can't see City losing a game, but I'm almost the same with Arsenal. If they do, I can't see them losing more than one game. You know, so the two-team game Arsenal will lose is the one against Manchester City, which is creeping up. I think it's in April. I think that will be the one that is a very telling game. 5
points in it. Who's your favourite, Darren, at this point?
I've got to go City. I know the nice lady in my ear who always puts up the fixtures every time I start talking about what's happening. I know she's going to help me with this very soon. But I do think Arsenal have got some very difficult.
There's a lot of nice ladies in there, Darren. You're going to have to ask nice.
They're all lovely.
No, the lady always helps me. She's really nice, and thank you very much for doing that. But
right on cue. Here we go.
Thank you so much. But when I look at those fixtures, they've got to go to Liverpool. They've got to go to West Ham. They are two. They are two very difficult fixtures, but look at the top. Fulham, don't take them for granted. They're in contention for a place in the Europa League next season. Marco Silva's got them scoring goals. Craven Cottage, one of the hardest places to go in the Premier League. I don't think this is going to be easy for a side like Arsenal, who haven't won the league for 20 years, whereas City know the course, they know the distance. Yes, they haven't put together more than 3 wins in a row so far this season, but you know they have it within them to do that. That's why I've got to make them favourites.
OK, well, shall we hear from Marco Silva now then? Because he says his players have to be confident about facing the league leaders this weekend.
At least to believe in ourselves is the main thing for us, and the most important thing, to believe in ourselves, the way we are going to play. We know that in some moments they are going to obligate us to do some things that we don't like really, even playing at home, but we have to be able to handle that situation and after to play our game.
Well, you mentioned it there, Darren. They're fighting for a place in Europe next season. They've only just been promoted, Jermaine. They're having an extraordinary season, and they will look at this game as just as important as Arsenal will be looking at it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Arsenal, Fulham will be doing everything they've been doing all season against Arsenal. Their 2 fullbacks, Robinson and Tete, have been brilliant. They've shown so much energy, confidence going up and down those channels. They've freed up the wingers to give them the opportunity to express themselves as well as they need to. Polinia has been incredible.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely phenomenal in the middle of the field.
This game, that's the thing, and I think that Arsenal fans are delighted about that because
and
he's
they should be
so important, hasn't he?
He has. He's offered the freedom for a lot of the other players to really get beyond Mitrovic or put the balls into Mitrovic, etc. So they've got ways of playing, which has been brilliant. Full of confidence. They've taken it on from the back from last season. Look, you can see the stats there. Granted, they've played 2 games more than Newcastle and Liverpool, but they're right behind them. So, you know, they're in with a chance at getting into a European spot.
I think you're right. And I think at this stage, you want points on the board
Absolutely,
rather than games in hand.
Yep.
This time last season, Arsenal were in 4th place and Manchester United, and they still blew 4th place because the pressure's on you to win those games. Whereas Fulham, with those 39 points, they are breathing down the necks of Newcastle, who can't score goals. Liverpool, still very fragile, and Spurs all over the place. I still think they're in a great position. I just wanted to ask, can I ask Jermaine a question?
Of course you can.
When you're a player in a side and you're up against the big team, the team that rolls into town with all the pressure on them, do you feel that the pressure is on them, that you've got nothing to lose, so you've got the freedom to play?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they've got everything to play for, and you're the underdog. So win, lose or draw, you come away from it with there's no pressure on your shoulders. You can literally enjoy the game. You can play with freedom.
Do you have a game like that where you think?
Yeah, many times. Many times. Many times.
I bet you scored, didn't you?
Well, when there's no pressure, you tend to see the best of people, you know, and that's exactly what happened with myself in a load of situations. But also, Fulham are not expected to win this game against Arsenal. Both teams are going into it with off the back of really good runs. You know, they've done really well in the last 5, 6, 7 games. So there's no pressure on either side to really win the game. both sets of fans will be happy with a result here.
Yeah. Joining me in the studio to preview all of the weekend's fixtures, we've got the irreplaceable double act of Jermaine Beckford and Jaron Lewis. Good to see you both. Nice to spend another Friday afternoon together. And it's been a busy week in Europe as well, hasn't it, Jermaine?
Incredible.
Should we start with the good news? And that is for Chelsea, who are through to the next stage of the Champions League. Has that eased a bit of pressure on Graham Potter for now?